Story 1. I was 24 when I started working at a small IT company in the suburbs. Typical open space with rows of monitors, a coffee machine, and everyone wearing headphones. The job was fine, fixing bugs, writing code, sometimes helping newbies. The team was young, mostly 20-30 years old, pretty relaxed vibe. There was this guy, Mike, sitting 2 desks away from me. Always quiet, always in a black hoodie even in summer, never took his headphones off. He barely spoke, but when he did, he stared straight into your eyes without blinking. At first, I just thought he was a classic introverted IT guy. Then the weird stuff started. I noticed Mike always knew exactly when I arrived and when I left. If I stayed late, he'd stay late too, finishing a task, even though his tasks were simple and took him like an hour. One evening, I left at 8 p.m., and he walked out right after me. Said he forgot to shut down his computer. We walked to the parking lot in silence, and I could feel his eyes on my back the whole time. A couple of weeks later, I accidentally left my phone on the desk when I went to the bathroom. Came back. Screen on, Instagram open. Mike was sitting nearby pretending to look at his monitor. I asked, "Were you looking for something?" He smiled and said, "Just saw a notification. Thought it might be important." The notification was a heart on my girlfriend's story. He'd seen it. I started noticing little things. He knew where I ate lunch, even when I didn't tell anyone. He'd comment on my posts in the company chat with weird emojis, skulls, eyes, even though we barely talked. One night, I got a message from an unknown number. "You left late today. Already home?" I replied, "Who is this?" But the message didn't deliver. The number was blocked. I told the team lead. He laughed it off. "Mike? He's harmless, just awkward." But a week later, Mike was gone. Desk empty, stuff cleared out. Team lead said he quit on his own. No one knew why. Then, about 2 months later, I saw him. Late evening, walking home through the park near the office. He was standing under a street lamp in that same hoodie, staring in my direction. He didn't approach, just watched. I sped up, looked back. He was gone. Since then, I've changed jobs, moved to a different neighborhood. But sometimes I still check the windows before bed. Because I still don't know how he knew so much about me back then. And if he knew my address too, who knows what he knows now. Story 2. This happened during a night shift at a huge logistics warehouse. I worked as a picker, walking the aisles, collecting orders, scanning barcodes, shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Co-workers were mostly silent guys with headphones. We only talked over the radio. There was one, Carl, around 40, bald, always in the same jacket. He drove the forklift, moved pallets around, said hello, seemed normal, but his eyes were empty. One night I heard whispering over the radio, "He's coming. For you." I thought it was a joke, asked, "Who's this?" Silence. An hour later again, "Don't turn around." I turned. Nothing. Just rows of shelves and the hum of lights. It got worse. I started noticing shadows at the far end of the aisle. I'd walk over. Empty. One break, I went to the restroom. My water bottle was open on the table, even though I hadn't touched it. Tasted weird. Poured it out. At 4 a.m., the radio crackled with Carl's voice. "You tired? Go sleep in your car. I'll watch." I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, I heard the forklift coming toward me. Slowly. I hid behind a rack. It stopped 2 meters away, lights off. He sat there for maybe 15 minutes, then drove away. I called security. They said, "Carl left an hour ago." But I saw him. Cameras showed nothing. That section didn't have working night coverage. Next shift, Carl wasn't there. They said he was fired for no show. But a couple days later, I found a note in my locker. I'm still here. Good night. Handwriting unreadable. I quit a week later. Now I work days, in an office surrounded by people. But sometimes in the quiet I hear the hum of a forklift somewhere far away. And I wonder, did he really leave, or is he just waiting? Story 3. I was working as a barista in a small cozy cafe in the city center. It was summer. Tourists, regulars, everything felt nice. Among my co-workers was a guy named Dan, about 28, tall, always smiling, helped everyone. Girls liked him. Guys thought he was okay. But with me, he acted different. It started small. He always knew my favorite coffee order, even though I never told anyone at work. No syrup, right? He'd say, and hand me the cup. Then he started asking personal questions. How's your cat doing? Wasn't he sick the other day? I'd only mentioned my cat to my mom on the phone. How did he know? One day I posted a beach story on Instagram. Me and my friend went away for the weekend. The next day at work, Dan asked, "So how was the lake? Was the water cold?" I never told anyone where I was going. I started avoiding him. Changed my schedule so we overlapped less. But he was always around. One night after closing, I left through the back door and saw his car in the parking lot. Lights off, engine running. He was sitting inside, staring at the door. I froze. He didn't get out, just watched. I turned around, went back inside, told the manager I felt sick. He drove me home. The next day I showed screenshots. He texted me at night. "You looked beautiful today in that blue sweater." I never replied. The manager talked to him. Dan said he was just being caring. He got fired. But a week later, I received a package with no return address. Inside was my favorite lipstick, the one I'd lost at work a month earlier, and a note. "Returning this to you. See you soon." I went to the police. They said, "No direct threat, but keep an eye out." I quit, changed my number, moved. It's been 3 years. Sometimes I see similar cars on the street and my heart stops. I don't know where he is now, but I know one thing. He wasn't joking.